Would you actually take a commenter to court?
Yes. I actually have reported even more people, and I will continue to do so. We're all human, and if you're just trying to go about your life, I don't see why someone would just bring all that negativity to you for nothing. And I feel like people need to face their consequences eventually.
There's been a lot that has been said, people trying to involve you in all of that. How are you dealing with it?
I'm not part of any of that stuff that is being talked about, where the women are involved alone without the men, though. It's both parties, right? So why is it always only falling on women?
Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of On the Table. And that's what you can look forward to on today's show. Yeah, quite an exciting one we have. And remember, you can be interactive with me by leaving a comment in the comment section. If you're watching from YouTube, you can let me know what you think about the conversations we'll be having throughout the show. Now, today's conversation with our guest is focusing on bold fashion statements and going all the way through into a strong digital presence. We're talking about content here, creativity as well that gets to stand out, and this being represented through the social platforms. Allow me to welcome my guest, who is none other than Ruth Ronnie. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Great to have you after a while. I just realized 2023 was the last time we met, right?
Yeah, 2023.
On the show, that is. Because
yes,
I think we've
of
met
course.
a couple of times.
Yeah, we have.
After. But I mean, last time we met was just after the Lusaka July, and there was a lot of talk about, oh my goodness, Ruth Ronnie's outfit and statement. What has it been like from that particular time? Did that moment open certain doors for you, especially from the fashion side of things?
Yeah, it definitely did. I got to interact with a lot of designers that want to collaborate with me. I've been working on a certain project that I can't talk about yet, but it's centered around fashion, and it's going to be pretty big. And yeah, I'm very, very excited to do more in fashion.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I think I also remember at that particular time, there was a lot of debate about how much money was spent. Have you spent like that amount of money on an outfit since, or perhaps more?
Since then, no, because I haven't done any outfits that go to that extent.
Yeah.
In terms of how much is needed to create a look.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the future holds. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm looking forward to creating more looks. I'm still working with the designer that I worked with on my outfit. She's like my personal designer now. So I have a couple of things underway. Yes.
Have you also, I don't know if you're doing it already, or perhaps you're considering it, styling for other people? Have people also approached you for that since?
People have approached me, and there's people who are interested in actually buying some of the gowns that I have.
Okay.
But I don't know. I've just never been into styling other people. I just find it exciting to do my own looks. Mm-hmm. But it's something I'm willing to try out. So we'll see.
But even just with self-styling, I don't know if it's something that can be considered like some sort of unrecognized art or something. Because, I mean, when somebody's putting an outfit together, I mean, you're thinking of colors, you're thinking of what's going to work with what. How often do you go through that? Even when you're just looking at your wardrobe before you even step out, how often do you go through that moment?
Okay, I think for me, for my day-to-day outfits, I don't really overthink it. I just...
Yeah?
grab what I feel like, put it together, and it turns out being what it is. And even for events, sometimes I don't really think too much about what I'm gonna wear, and it just works out. So I actually make a joke about this with my friends. I'm like, when we're going to look for outfits, I'm like, the fashion gods are gonna come through. So yeah, it always just ends up working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is fun. I really love fashion and just creating those looks.
One thing that you've also been able to do and been quite consistent with is the content creation. Now, that's another thing I always wonder, what it takes to be one. Because I've seen a lot of people also trying to get into that that realm or that world of being a content creator. Like I see people, even just like from their WhatsApp statuses maybe and so on. You can see that okay, they really aspire to be a content creator. What would you say it takes for one to be a content creator?
Okay, so being a content creator is an actual job. I think most people don't see it that way. But we're actually working and there's a lot of things involved. And you actually have to be pretty smart to be a content creator because you have to read contracts, you have to edit. It's a lot of things that go into it. So my advice to people who are trying to be content creators is to actually take some time to learn what it takes. Talk to fellow content creators or people that are already doing it. Take a master class. That's why there's even master classes because there's a lot of things to learn. So you just don't wake up and record something and that's why there's a difference between people that are doing it for a living and people who are just you know starting out without direction. So it is doable, as is every other job, but you actually do need that guidance and you need to learn everything that it takes.
But isn't that like a thing where, like, how many people do you really think like start out like with a deliberate plan, or don't you think sometimes it's just a bit accidental for some people? Like maybe they create certain content, it goes viral, and they're like, "Hey, I've got the numbers. Let me do a couple more things."
Right. So that does happen. I
Yeah.
mean, especially in the age of TikTok where things just go viral. It could be just a video that doesn't even make sense and it will go viral. Someone will get 1 million followers.
Yeah.
But for you to have longevity as a creator, you actually have to know what you're doing. Because I'm sure you've seen there's certain creators that have millions of followers, but they don't have brand deals. They are on the platforms talking, dancing, creating all sorts of content, but you've never seen them working with a brand or working with bigger brands or brands that even smaller creators work with and are getting paid to work with. So if you have the numbers accidentally, just take some time to actually learn the skill and perfect it. Then you even be unstoppable because you already have the numbers. And then if you know what you're doing on top of that, you're going to be very successful at the end of the day.
What's the typical like behind the scenes process for you, like the creation process before you put out content?
Okay, so it differs. If I'm just making content for fun, it's just random. I'll just make something that I feel like making. But for branded content, there's a lot of planning that goes into it, scripting, location scouting. If you have to shoot it somewhere, there's a lot of back and forth with the brands that you're working with. They give you a whole guideline of what they want and things for you to follow. Then you shoot, edit, submit. There's also a back and forth there. They'll tell you, okay, change this, do that. Sometimes you have to reshoot. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's very, very meticulously planned. Yeah, especially for branded content. So it's like a full work day. It's very stressful. And I feel like most people don't know that. And that's why certain people don't really understand content creators and their lifestyle. They're like, are you sure content creators make this much money? They're just making videos.
We'll talk about that. It's a conversation.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We're literally doing all sorts of things, reading contracts. We're now our own lawyers, some of us. But yeah, like literally, even for me, I have a lawyer that I work with to help me with certain contracts. Of course, I know how to read contracts by myself, but there's just certain deals that you literally need a lawyer to be part of. So it's a lot of things that go into it.
And how does issues of, getting like a team work? Like, have you? Is it something you're also considering, so that you have assistance with that? Like a manager kind of, and so on.
Yeah, I do have a manager. I have agents. I have people who help me shoot sometimes. I do like doing things by myself most of the time because I love making content. It's my passion. So I do have a team and I do things on my own. Sometimes when I feel like it's not necessary to involve the team. But it is important, especially if you're someone who's just maybe starting out and you don't really know how to go about things, it would be beneficial to get a team or get signed to like a creators agency of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a lot of those here?
I don't think we have a lot. I've seen like 2 or 3,
Okay.
and it's actually something I was trying to look into, but I don't know if I can have the time to do it. But
Like to establish one.
yes,
Okay.
to kind of just guide people who want to be content creators. Yeah.
Okay. So, generally, your piece of advice for somebody who's starting out, what would you advise them that perhaps you didn't know about when you were starting out?
Okay, so for me, when I was starting out, I didn't deliberately just become a content creator.
Yeah.
It just happened, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is actually something I can make a living out of. So what I can advise aspiring content creators is, it's very doable. All you have to do is be very serious about it, be dedicated. Don't feel shy to make your content. I know a lot of upcoming creators that feel awkward about or recording in public or doing whatever they have to do. But yeah, just be consistent. Invest in your equipment if you can. That also helps. Quality really pushes your content. And just learn and ask already established creators on how to go about things. Yeah.
When you talk about content creation, I've noticed there've been two perspectives, right? I once hosted Josh Too Funny, and what he had told me, he said, well, I asked him, what advice do you have for Zambian content creators? And his advice was they need to collaborate more. Like, Zambian content creators need to unite more and collaborate more. And then I don't know if it was off record or it was on record, but I met another content creator, Zambian content creator, who was saying Zambian content creators are probably like the most united grouping of or sector in the entertainment space in this country. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree because I literally have a group of creators that I discuss certain things with.
Yeah.
We have sort of like an unofficial creators union, actually, where we talk about all sorts of different things concerning content creation and everything. So, in terms of collaboration, that is very important
Yeah.
for sure, because I've noticed that ever since I also started collaborating with my fellow creators, it's just been more fluid, more creativity, and the audience actually loves to see their favorite content creators coming together. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is actually very, very beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any specific content creators you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with? Zambian content creators?
There are quite a number of them. I would actually love to collaborate with Nzineyema.
Yeah?
He's like a friend of mine, but we've never done any content.
Why is that so?
It's just the way it is in the industry, because
Yeah.
even for musicians, you can be friends with someone for
Yes,
years
yes,
and you've
yes.
never done a song together.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
I have friends who I've never taken a picture with. Like, it's their birthday.
Right.
I'm looking at my
Right.
goodness, how do I not have this guy's photos? Yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to work with Nzineyema. I think he's very funny. He's one
Yeah.
of my favorite content creators. And yeah, there's a number of them that I'd like to collaborate with. And I've been looking into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the conversations that came up earlier this year was the. Okay, I mean, there's been quite a number, but artificial intelligence. Anyway, it's
Right.
become a thing now. It's creating global conversations. But what sort of impact do you think AI has on you as content creators?
Okay, for us content creators, AI is actually a very useful tool. It makes things easier. You can create things faster.
Yeah.
Say you want to create a script, all you have to do is ask ChatGPT and then obviously bring in your own creative input. I would advise not to just rely solely on AI, because then it shows like your creativity isn't in the project. But I think it's a very useful tool for us creators. I know there's a lot of discourse about AI and the dangers of AI. That's still very, very real, but there's also a very good side to it. So I wouldn't advise creators to shun away from using AI.
Yeah.
Just use it to the extent that it's not taking over your job. You still have to do the work for your content to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can we agree that it sort of made some people lazy?
Um, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't really know what goes into like each individual's creative process, but I don't know. It could do that to some people, maybe. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's a useful tool.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
How often do you personally use it?
Not very often. Sometimes I'll just use it to maybe polish up a few things or create images that I can use in my content and stuff like that. But for me, content creation is my passion, and I actually love doing the work myself, which is why I even told you about the team. Like sometimes I don't even require my team to help me with things. I love doing the stuff myself because it's fun for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another conversation that has been there, especially on the national and the Zambian level, is the cyber laws, the enactment of the Cybersecurity and Cyber Crimes Act. And it seems when this was coming up, a lot of content creators, or some content creators, were a bit worried about what this will mean for them and how they'll get to express themselves. And I know this might also affect certain content creators who, especially those who are like who speak onto politics and stuff like that.
Right.
But from a general perspective, what do you make of these laws and the impact on you as content creators?
I think the cyber laws or the cyber enactment has been the best thing that can happen for content creators, especially in Zambia, because the Zambian social media space is out of control. And a lot of people take it upon themselves to bully content creators, look down on them, say all sorts of things about them. So this is kind of like protection for content creators. The people who I think the people who have a problem with the cyber laws are the ones that feed off negativity and the ones that have built their platforms on tearing other people down. Because why would you be so affected by a law that's meant to protect you? Why would you be negatively affected if you're not intending to break that law? It's like someone telling you from this day forth you're not allowed to steal anything, and then you start complaining. It's because you're intending to steal, isn't it? So I think it's a very good law. Personally, it creates a very safe cyberspace for everyone.
Yeah.
And it was long overdue because things were getting a bit out of hand on the Zambian social media space.
Yeah, I mean the argument is for some people. The argument is when it curtails people's freedoms to express themselves. Because sometimes you may want to say something, and then there are even just certain things that I guess some people do not know. For example, there's this thing that people like to do where they say expose somebody, like, oh, okay, this person stole a phone, and this is the person, this is where they live and whatever.
Right.
But now that's like an offense, and it feels like there's a lot of ignorance around even the laws themselves and how this applies.
Right. I would say in that instance, it's maybe because people were sometimes trying to take the law into their own hands. And I genuinely think the government wouldn't introduce a law that's meant to harm its citizens. All the laws are meant to protect its citizens. So I feel like everyone just actually needs to look into it and actually read what it says for them to understand and try to put themselves in the shoes of needing to be protected by those laws. If something happens to them, they'll be glad those laws exist to protect them. That's one thing that most people don't understand because they've never found themselves in a situation where they need the cyber law to protect them.
Yeah.
But for someone like a content creator, we're a very easy target. Everyone wants to say anything. Everyone wants to do anything. So those laws to us are very urgent to have because for a very long time, there was nothing protecting people on the online space.
Would you actually take a commenter to court?
Yes. I would.
Really? You're not one of those like, okay, I've got thick skin, so just let it be.
I At the end of the day, it gets to a point where you have to take action against people because we're all human. And if you're just trying to go about your life, I don't see why someone would just bring all that negativity to you for nothing. And I feel like people need to face their consequences eventually. So I would do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so far, you've never done anything like that, have you?
I have reported a couple of people
Yeah.
in the past. I reported someone for taking one of my posts and just doing a whole cyberbullying thing with that. And yeah, I actually have reported even more people, and I will continue to do so because I've reached a point where I think I don't want to tolerate any more cyberbullying, especially on the online space, because that's where I work. That's where me and my fellow content creators do our work. So it doesn't make sense for someone to, quote unquote, make my office an unsafe space. It's the same as me coming here where you work and, saying all sorts of things to you every single day when you show up. You find me making you uncomfortable. You obviously take action at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's a no-brainer.
But so others argue that look, you signed up for it. If you're going to be in the public domain, you should expect people to criticize you, some negatively, but it's what you signed up for. It's part of what the job comes with.
So that is actually not how things are supposed to work. You signing up for criticism should be maybe constructive criticism. Me posting a picture of myself shouldn't be me subjecting someone to, let's say, call me ugly and insult me and my whole lineage for nothing. That's not what I signed up for. That's not how things work, and that's a lame excuse for people to use. It's like telling someone you live in a, for lack of a better term, you live in the ghetto, so you signed up to be robbed every single day. That person just exists in that space because that's where they live. They didn't sign up to be robbed and harassed every day. So that's not how things work. I feel like people just make that excuse.
To want to bully others. So
Yes.
how did you sort out the issue? The police, did you like withdraw the case? What happened? Did they have to like make an apology somewhere?
Yeah, the person made an apology, but anyway, there's still a case underway in that regard.
Is any of them like a known person? Are they any known people?
A number of them.
Really?
Yes.
I think maybe I've missed it. I think
Anyway, you will see it soon. I'm sure.
There's an apology coming.
I'm sure.
You know,
But yeah.
let's take a break. After the break, I was still hanging out with Ruth Ronnie, and with more conversations coming up on the other side. This recent situation, I mean, there was the whole David Kazadi, Mwaka.
I'm not part of any of that stuff that is being talked about.
Have you reached out to Mwaka in the process of all of this?
The women are involved alone without the men, though. It's both parties, right? So why is it always only falling on women?
Welcome back. You're still watching On the Table, and I'm hanging out with Ruth Ronnie, the lady from Kopal. I was telling Ruth before the show started that I think even last time when she told me that she's from the Copper Belt, I never believed it, but I mean now I do. She doesn't really show the Kopala side that much.
What has made you believe it now?
No, because I mean you're telling me you're on the Copper Belt recently, and yeah, I've heard you're fluent Bemba, so I'm like, okay, now she's Kopala. So when did you move to Lusaka, like officially?
Well, I've actually been in and out of Lusaka. I was born and raised on the Copper Belt, and then I came for tertiary and stayed for a number of years, and then went back in 2019, and then I came back in 2023. So I've been in Lusaka. Yeah, but I usually go back and forth because, yeah, Copperbelt is my home. But there's more work here in Lusaka, especially for content creators. So,
And I was about to say that, as a content creator, do you really need to be here in Osaka? I mean, for artists, you sort of understand because perhaps a lot of their shows are here in Osaka, so you understand that they have to live here.
right.
I'd like to believe that for content creators, I mean, you can make some of this content from wherever you are in that in the country, as long as you have like network there. And
Yeah.
I mean, if it's contracts, you can probably even like sign them. You can do all these things through digital
Right,
platforms.
right.
So does it really need one to be in Osaka?
Not necessarily. I mean, I was a content creator for the longest when I
Yeah.
was living on the Copper Belt, but there's certain things that require you to be in Lusaka, like going to a certain place. If you need to advertise, you need to be there physically, and certain events you need to attend,
Oh yeah.
and certain campaigns that only apply to Lusaka and any other area, so to say. But you don't really need to be in Lusaka. You can still be a content creator anywhere you are. That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you manage to like make content for specific platforms? Because I know with social media, there's different platforms. I think Facebook is still the biggest in the country. Uh, do you disagree? No.
I mean,
In Zambia.
I it's just very popular, like a lot of anyway, what I would say is it just goes with the age. A lot of older people are on Facebook, but the younger generation is on TikTok. And you get like probably more engagement and views on TikTok than Facebook. But it also depends what kind of creator you are. So it's very specific, and this is why when you're creating content for these platforms, it's sort of different. The kind of content you create
Yeah.
for Facebook is different for the one you create for Instagram or
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff like that. But you just have to know exactly what works on which platform.
Yeah. So where would you say? Because I think every content creator probably has like they probably have actually one platform that they are really not really messing with, for lack of a better term. Which one is it for you? Because obviously there's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's Insta, there's X.
Yeah.
I think you can maybe also throw in LinkedIn, I guess.
Yeah, well, okay, for me, I post most of my content on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah.
My X is sort of just for personal thoughts and stuff. I go there once in a while, say a few things, and I'm out. But I try to create a balance with my three major platforms. Like, I try to be there equally and give quality throughout.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which one is your favorite? I would like to guess it's TikTok.
Why do you say that?
I mean, from the engagement and
Yeah.
you know, and
I think
all of that.
TikTok is fun.
Yeah.
You can just go on there and create whatever you want. The energy is mostly positive. Obviously, there's a few bad eggs here and there, but it's a very, very positive and supportive platform. On Instagram, everyone minds their business. They don't have time to be negative as much. Facebook is a very good platform, but there's a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
From my experience, anyway, a lot of people on Facebook are, I don't know, they're just like free to disrespect others for some reason. But yeah, for me, I just care about the community that I've personally built, and I do it for them. I don't really care about who's not messing with it or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Facebook is where a lot of cyber law.
That's why it's needed the most.
That's where they're gonna catch a few people. Because I've also
Yeah.
seen, like, even for you, I think recently you even had to like detach yourself from Facebook. You said you avoid posting for a bit.
Yeah. I think it just kind of gets annoying, you know? Like you're trying to go about your day and here comes people with their nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just annoying, but at the end of the day, I still have a community that looks forward to my posts, so I have to be there for them. Those are
Yeah.
my people, and those are the people that you're supposed to focus on as a creator,
Yeah.
because you're doing it for them, the people that love what you do.
But have you like also picked like some lessons from that on how you get to approach certain situations? For example, probably now you'll be thinking, okay, before I post something, I need to see what else people are talking about, because I think that was also because of everything going on
Yeah,
at the
but
time.
I'm not going to live my life like that. If I have a thought that I'll post for my followers, I usually post a lot of random things on my page. Like just what's your favorite food? What's this? Blah blah. Those kind of random things.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about who has done what is no. I'm
Yeah.
creating for the people that I create for, the people that know how I post things.
Yeah.
So if people want to misinterpret my posts, it's unfortunate, yes, but I can't restrict myself because there's always something going on. Niche will just stop posting forever, right? Because there's always a situation going on
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah. But okay, so now here's the thing, right? So, because obviously again with the content creation, there's need to, and I don't know if that's your style of doing things. Is need to look at like what's going on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you an example,
Yeah.
right? We recently had a funeral.
Of the late.
Yes, of a late.
As we are recording this, he's still not been buried, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are certain topics as a human being that you need to be sensitive about. Okay? So if there's national mourning, there's national this and that, those are things that you're kind of required to respect. Okay? You won't post certain things when there's a funeral for the president. It's just very disrespectful. But if there's whatever random thing happening that doesn't even directly affect you, it's really none of anyone's business to be concerned about that issue.
Yeah.
You won't spend your time curating your content, taking corners to seek out what drama is going. For me, I personally don't even follow blogger pages, so I don't know what goes on. Sometimes it takes people to just send me screenshots. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? I'm not interested in that stuff at all.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, hitting the nail on the head with the most recent situation. I mean, there was a whole David Kazadi, Mwaka, and obviously you worked with David at some point.
Yeah.
Then you made that post. Some people aligned it to that. When you look back, don't you think that could have been perhaps like avoided so people don't have to make those insinuations?
Which posts are you referring to?
I think I think you posted something random. Can't remember what it was, but I think it's something random because you had to share the whole. You know what? This was not related to anything like that. It was soon before that.
Yeah, I remember that, and I think the thing that I posted was like bestie something. But you know the funny part is if you just scrolled back on my page a few posts down, you would literally find another post that's similar to that when none of that was going on. So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, I normally just post random things, and people sometimes take it out of context, and I guess people on Facebook are so used to everyone being a drama person.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not my thing. I just focus on my own content. I post my random things, jokes, blah, 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 and I go. I don't think I even spend time browsing Facebook to see anything. I know the major news that goes on because, I follow reputable news pages like Diamond TV.
Yeah.
I follow Diamond TV. I see what happens. But for gossip pages, I don't follow any gossip pages. And yeah, it's just annoying when people want to tie context to my post that has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing.
Let's talk about the financial aspects of things. You said this earlier that some people get shocked when they see a content creator. Oh my goodness, a content creator has managed to buy this or spend this amount of money, and they have that. and they find it unbelievable because they don't think content creators make that much
Right.
money. How would you describe the financial side of content creation at the moment?
I think in Zambia, content creators are actually, excuse me, I think content creators are actually getting paid what their content is worth. If you look at the international market, creators make so much money that it's actually unbelievable when you look at the figures. And it took some time in Zambia for us to adopt that culture. But I think with the introduction of a lot of international brands working with Zambian creators, you can see that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You can see that money is actually being made and content creators are being paid what they're worth. So it's a good job. And I think that's why even most people are trying to be creators because some of them know you can make a decent living out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I find quite sad is where people like try to attribute like people's source of revenue towards something that is away from
Yeah.
what people see. And I mean, I'll be honest. I think I got to see it also a bit more, even with again making reference to the Mwaka situation. People afterwards, talking about, oh no, it's because of this. When for example, she was working with different brands, and perhaps that also speaks into people's perception of content creators out there, don't you think?
So for that, I would say content creation is a relatively new business in Zambia or even Africa. For the longest time, even the way we were brought up, our parents would never let someone be a musician or artist or shiny. They would think that you can't really make money from that and it's not an actual job.
Yeah.
But things are actually changing and people are actually making money from this. That perception comes from our culture and our beliefs. People only think you make money if you're a doctor or a lawyer, but there's other ways to make money. And brands can see the value of content creators because a lot of people are on social media. Not many people even watch TV nowadays. A lot of things are online. So the people who are creating that content to bring awareness to their brands are the ones doing most of the work and they're getting paid for it. So it is unfortunate that people have that perception about creators, but I would love to see a day when it actually changes.
Would you agree that it gets worse for females?
Definitely. I've never seen any posts attributing a man's success to dubious means. There's a lot of content creators who even flaunt their money like it's grass, but no one says anything about those people. But let a girl just post anything. It's no this and that, this and that. So I think it's rooted in misogyny, and we do live in a very patriarchal, I don't know how to pronounce that word, society. So women are just often looked down upon. People don't believe a woman can genuinely be successful on her own.
And don't you think it's also gotten worse because of, I mean, some of these things coming out to be, when people have these suspicions and then eventually it comes out like, oh, this person is involved with this person and
Right,
oh, this
but-
person is arrested for this.
But where the women are involved alone without the men, though, it's both parties, right? So why is it always only falling on women to attribute their success to, certain activities?
So probably people's thinking there is that the guy was the one who was paying for a certain service from that particular female, and that's how that female is able to survive.
But see, that's still an issue because why are they assuming it's the guy that has the money to do that? It still goes back to misogyny. People just respect men more. They don't question where men get money, they question where women get money. Men can also do things for money. It's not just women. And I'm not saying there's no one who does weird things for money. Certain things exist, yes.
Yeah.
But it's always just heavier on the women's side. Men can get away with it. They can get away with a lot. And no one will ever question. They'll just congratulate and exhort them. Oh my God, yes, boss man. But you don't know what they do.
Do you think it's something that can be changed, or should we just accept that that's how the world is and that's how it's been?
I don't know. It's a very, very deep and long-standing issue. It's rooted in humanity because it started a long time ago. I mean, there's a time when women never had rights, and they were seen as lesser than the lesser gender. So I don't know how long it would take for women to actually be seen for real as equals with men, and not to be questioned. I don't even see that happening anytime soon, to be honest. And for me, it's something I've just come to accept as a creator. Of course, people say all sorts of things about creators and where creators get money.
Yeah.
They ignore the work you do. They see us working with the brands. They see the contents, the adverts. They see all of that, but they choose to pay a blind eye and not recognize the work that you're actually doing.
Speaking of the brands, what advice would you give to brands who are already working with content creators, or those who are yet to work with content creators?
Okay, so for the brands that are already working with content creators, that's a very commendable step. It's the best form of marketing currently. A lot of people are on social media. You actually gain something from working with creators. For the ones that are yet, did I say yet to work with already?
Yeah, you said the ones who are already working with. So yeah, now the ones yet, I guess, is what
Oh yeah, the ones that are yet to work with creators, don't be afraid to invest in creators. It's a very, very worthy investment. You actually get returns. And don't be afraid to work with big creators and smaller creators as well, because even the people with less numbers are even the ones who could create better content for your brand. So mix it up. Get some people with a lot of numbers and some with smaller numbers. It actually reaches more people that way, because when you're just working with the biggest names, it starts coming off as gimmicky. So you have to mix it up and believe in the smaller creators as well, because everyone starts from somewhere. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome stuff. The music side. Last time we talked about this, Ruth. We talked about this.
Yeah.
What's the update? What's the latest? What's going on?
I did drop like a few songs since last time, but I want to do something different. Like, I've been reinventing my sound, and I have been doing a few, like, I don't want to call them secret collaborations, but I do work with people from outside. If they need a voice, they need ABCD, I do that. But on the Zambian music scene, I haven't really been about that much. Excuse me. I'm actually trying to work on a body of work that I can drop, but it's really going to be a very different sound. One that's just true to me. So I'm kind of working with the vibe that I'm in personally, not with what I think people want to hear. Because a lot of artists are subjected to that. Like, no, sing a song like this because this is what's currently trending. People want to hear this and that. But no, I just want to make music from my soul and music that speaks to me and like-minded individuals. So,
you know what? Now that you've said that, because I remember you said this as well, and do you know why I remember you say that?
yeah.
The last interview I did, which was not 2 years ago, I think we did one around the Icon Zambia, which was I think last year, right? I think it should have been.
Yes, at.
Was the place? It's closed now. The liquor store.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember you mentioned that, and I think you say that Zambians have certain like expectations.
They do.
By the way, how was that journey for you as the judge of the Icon Zambia?
It was a very beautiful journey. I I really love music and I love seeing talented people. So it was a very fulfilling role for me to play a part in building someone and just play a part in someone's journey. I met so many amazing artists on that platform, some of which I'm still in touch with, and we just created those long lasting relationships musically. And yeah, it was a very beautiful journey. And I think I'm happy to have been part of such a platform. Yeah.
And I've seen of late now people are trying to link you with. I know one of the judges was involved in some controversy of his own, and
Right.
there's been a lot that has been said. People trying to involve you in all of that. How are you dealing with it?
Um, well, to be honest, there's been people that have been going out of their way to say all sorts of things, but like I said, cyber laws. Yeah, so I am taking legal action against people, some people who have just taken things to the extreme because um, I'm not part of any of that stuff that is being talked about. It is a very unfortunate situation for whoever is involved, but I don't know why people want to involve me in something that I'm not involved in. So, yeah.
Have you reached out to any David Mwaka in the process of all of this, like just to give him some sort of advice or just to because you've been through a situation like that before, so have you taken time to like give them advice?
I think that's a very private piece of information. 'Cause
Yeah.
just doesn't involve me alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I don't think it's necessary for the public to know
Yeah.
the answer to that particular question. But yeah, we can skip that one.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. What's coming up next for you? What can people look out next from Ruth?
Okay, so like I said, I will be launching something in the fashion industry that
Yeah.
I've been working towards. And yeah, just more content, a new musical project dropping, and I'm working on a lot of things that I'm really excited to share before the year ends. So
I wonder, is it like when you say project? Is it like an album, an EP?